well, just for fun, I felt like following up on this exploratory topic. So I was finding that if I did like a ban pattern of like, let's say these are the errors, right? And I guess it doesn't quite say actually like, actually this would indicate that it's a 400 or a 500 error. Um, and what I was finding before was that the absolute number of errors per bot was not so high so as to warrant a ban, or it was not easy to detect, because obviously like you could have, a website that's misconfigured to load a 404 on an image, or some resource has a API endpoint has a 500 error, and you'd get a false positive. So you have to make the threshold reasonably high, which I set mine to 30. And so what I noticed then in the logs is that the bots seemingly all keep their count maybe around here. You can see 18, um, which is kind of low. And some of these requests do work. And so what I figured is that because they're only ever issuing, between whatever this count of requests is, it kind of made sense to instead try to use a ratio of like how many of their requests are errors, because that probably indicates that they're trying to go ahead and do some kind of exploration of a remote system. And so we can go confirm if this is kind of a false peg, and I don't know the answer. We can confirm if this is a false positive or a false negative right now. Hopefully that gets us both error logs, and it gets us. So we want to see error logs, and we also want to see what their request pattern was. And so here, this would indicate everything that they were trying to check out. This clearly indicates that they were trying to find an exploit path. Same with this. I would figure that trying to snuff out your git, your .git config, might be trying to grab some kind of git credential, VS Code, trying to grab an SSH credential. So that was a win that we blocked them, and they are now in the banned IPs list, which is good. That's what we want. Let's go check the next one that got banned. But the problem again with all of these actors, in this one, I don't know what to say of this. This is a false positive, so they should not have been banned. Can try to maybe expand. But what's weird about this as well is that they're reading robots.txt, and these should be all of their. What's quite bizarre about this pattern is that they're only requesting the login endpoint, and they're failing a reCAPTCHA. That's why it's coming back as an error. We can try to specify if we, yeah, that doesn't change it. So this is a really bizarre pattern of request. We can try to dramatically bump up the record for this IP. And this probably seems to indicate there's just too many records that we're searching from. Same for that. Let's try to, I don't know, bump down the number of records. I don't know why 40,000 lines got us something, but and it's pretty steady as well, which is also kind of interesting. Yeah, why is it saying grep standard input binary file matches? It's really bizarre. We could try to do. Try to bin investigation.txt. We could try to output it to a file and hopefully bin investigation.txt, but that's not helping our cause. So I'm not exactly sure why this isn't giving us what we're looking for, which is kind of a bummer. It just says, I can revisit that, but it does kind of look, I don't know, possibly, I'll have to investigate this further. This could be a false positive, but it could just be, it's worth like thinking about. It wouldn't really make sense that someone would just over and over. We could try to search one of these like individual request IDs as well. We don't need 2,000 lines either. Do just fine with 40. Yeah, and like one of the things that unfortunately I learned is that, I'll try it this way, 2024, 10, 08, 10, 18, 32. Okay. So, there's some IP that, let's see, now which IP were they? 6624964. 66249, but then it's this one right here. So we're just searching now to see. Okay, so this is the Google bot. So we banned the Google bot. That's what this is. Why would they be hitting just this endpoint? I don't know. But yeah, you can see them clearly right here. There's probably a way to like, I don't know how you would verify if someone tries to spoof a Google bot header. And you can kind of see like, well, there's probably a whole bunch of information in this logs that is not necessarily something that's, something that would be a good idea to publish, but that's okay. Nothing that's like gonna be totally detrimental to the system to expose. And now we're gonna check on this final IP. So we banned the Google bot. Whoops. And then this one again is clearly, someone trying to spoof. So that's it, and that's kind of like what basically I learned in the learning lesson is that if you implement a fail2ban protocol, a lot of them too will have like a fall off, which is maybe not a bad idea. Is that you unban the IP after some time, because most of these users are going to be trying to hit your system with like a whole bunch of different exploit paths all at once, and then they're going to switch IP. So it's more to say that if you keep the number like right here, if like the first thing that they open up with is not reasonable traffic, which can work for a red team or a blue team, you could easily take this information and spoof against it. But I would find that the majority of these bots are just going straight for the exploit paths. Most of those are going to trigger an error, and it's pretty easy to, like, let's say if they're all on average only going to flag about 10 different endpoints, they're going to creep above a threshold of error rate pretty quickly. And so that's the logic presented here, but I think the nature of these types of things is that you're always trying to combat the style of spoofing that people are attempting. I mean, here's another, I think this was the other IP that got banned. That's exactly the one we probably just checked right here. But yeah, everyone else kind of has it's like a pretty modest or low rate. Who knows? Maybe this is another Google bot. Let's see, because I think it was that 66 IP. And then we would do something similar to what we had done, which is 66109. 66109. Right here. That's also a Googlebot. So they're, for whatever reason, initiating it. Probably what's happening, my guess could be that the bot itself is getting blocked by reCAPTCHA, and so it's maybe initiating like a retry. Could be what's occurring. But anyway, all of this stuff is just interesting to share, and happy and glad to share it.